We're here, the first episode podcast with, of course, Rico LeDouche. Rico, how you doing?
Rico LeDouche.
My nickname. I'm like, what the fuck?
What a great can name. You say?
That was
time-traveling Japanese people.
Rico came into vogue. All through high school, I was LeDouche. Thank God I went away to college. I had to get away from that nickname.
Didn't even teach French at Rico's high school. Just LeDouche was so omnipotent, so omnipresent within everyone's mind.
A French person just walked into our school randomly and said LeDouche, and then that's when they started locking the doors to schools.
You said, no, my name is Rico. And he goes, Rico LeDouche.
Rico was also the inspiration for the original Pepe Le Pew character, who is now canceled, not allowed to be shown on television.
Just sniffing skirts. I don't know what the problem was.
That harassing French skunk was always my favorite character. He didn't care who was watching. He's going to grope on that cat and put the moves on her. I learned a lot from that guy.
Well, I mean, you've got his signature look. You have, Don, you have the skunk stripe up the middle. By the way, we should watch the original Gremlins maybe for Christmas. And Don looks like Spike in that movie. Or Stripe.
Could do a special edition movie episode of the first episode podcast.
I saw they have Gremlins, a new Gremlins series that's on like Amazon or Max or something. And it's animated. So we can check that out. I didn't see that.
Oh, that's kind of cool. An animated one.
Yeah, animated Gremlins. I'm pretty sure it's this year, so we could do it as the new episode. But today, we are here to talk about the brand spanking new Penguin show on Max, which stars, shockingly, Colin Farrell. Farrell?
How do you know his name? He's been in the zeitgeist for 20 years.
I gotta say.
He was kind of canceled for a while and he came back. And
what did he do?
I had no idea.
What didn't he do?
It was Colin Farrell.
No, I know. It's amazing.
Have you ever watched him on back when I used to watch Conan and stuff, the late night TV shows?
He walked out with a heavy limp.
He normally talks and he's like Brad Pitt and Snatch. You're like, wait,
oh yeah, 100%.
Crazy. But he can fake normal American English.
Yeah,
I think that's what he got canceled for. I think he was going around talking to women, being like, "Oh, it's like a hand up your snooch. 2 fingers in a two in the poop, one in the poop." And people had no idea what he was saying, and and it came around to find him at some point.
I still find it weird when English actors play American characters, and I have no idea that they're English until they're talking in an interview, and you go, holy shit, they have an English accent. I thought they were
like
American.
Harry Potter. Don was blown away that Harry Potter was not American.
No, I think Nicole Kidman was the first one. I was like, oh, I had no idea. But you can fake an American accent and it's fine.
Nicole Kidman.
She's Aussie, oi, by the way.
Yeah.
Daisy, Nicole Kidman was high prime time piece of ass. And then Tom Cruise got up in there, which is weird because she's tall for a woman. He's so short for a man.
I don't like redheads, but she's a hot one.
Was a hot one. Let's be time accurate here.
Well, I mean,
let's put a time stamp on that.
You married her now, I mean, like
if you saw her in something recently and she looked good, then that was heavily visual effects or makeup edited oriented. She might have been wearing a complete. I saw her in a second skin. Like
movie
in
too. It was
Lambs.
really good. I can't remember what the name was, but I watched it. I liked
it. Good. I recently saw it and forgot the name.
What's it called? Well, they don't pay us to tell names. That's why we don't remember them here on the show.
Let me ask you this.
We drink a lot of beer and we don't remember names.
Let me ask you this. Here's the definition of whether a lady is still hot or not is, could you still jerk it to her? Absolutely. And like, for example, what's her Quinn Medicine Woman? Who played her then? And she was like the mom in Wedding Crashers, hot Martha redhead. Stewart. No.
Oh, yeah. She was a model.
No. Hold on. Let me look it up. Let me look it up. Wedding Crashers. You'll recognize the name immediately.
Is it something Seymour?
Jane Seymour. Jane Seymour. She was still very, very attractive at an old age. She still looked fantastic. Nicole Kidman, I don't think so. I think you see Nicole Kidman close up, you're going to be like, wow, this is like a Madonna-esque charade going on.
I think she looked gorgeous. She's wealthy and has probably all the best skincare stuff. And she probably, you'd probably notice her as soon as she walks in a room. You'd be like, oh, that woman is pretty good looking, even though she's old. Because nobody else is going to look as good as her in the room.
I don't know about that these days.
Well, let's invite Nicole Kidman to your next White Elephant party.
Let's do it.
See how she measures.
I'll see if our friend Damien, he's from Australia. I think they all know each other one way, shape, or form. Somebody saved another person from an alligator at some point in time. Everybody saved everybody. Sucked the spider off of their, whatever.
Compared knives. That's not a knife. That's a knife. Yeah.
Or Damien probably has gone up to Nicole Kidman at a bar and checked to see if she's a woman by reaching up and seeing if she has testicles or not, and then going, "That's not a Sheila." And she goes, "Actually, I'm Nicole Kidman." He goes,
that's what they all say. Yeah.
I brought my own balls. How cruel would that be if you're an Australian guy, you just walk up holding a pair of fake testicles and just pretending that women are men all the time to get a laugh?
Yeah.
What kind of country does that? Criminals.
Who's laughing at this joke?
I'll spend time in the bush. In the bush, mate.
As you're sexually assaulting some unsuspecting woman sitting at a bar minding your own business.
You're bringing your own balls.
In Australia.
Everybody wins.
Yeah.
Okay.
Brian, you got to
see what the law has to say.
Stop touching people's junk and using an Australian accent as the excuse. And then they go,
"This podcast, by the way,
who touched you? Oh, it's an Australian guy." And Brian's like,
"Yeah, exactly." That's just like guy. Colin Farrell with his original Irish accent. Nobody can understand him. I use my Australian accent. And then, I'm sponsored. This podcast, by the way, sponsored by Big Ball, the primary fake testicle maker in Australia. So don't talk too badly of my tactics. That's not a Sheila. That's their catchphrase.
It's not a Sheila. Those are big balls.
These big balls right here say, "That's not a Sheila." Found at your local Walmart. So,
Foster's Australian for beer.
Australians don't even really drink Fosters.
No one drinks Fosters. It sucks.
Broke my heart to find that out.
I think the marketing with it was, it's a cool large can, and that was it. They're like, it's just lager in a can. But
why
do
you want a
cool
big can though?
It's
like drinking 40s.
Yeah.
It just gets warm. So what's the fucking?
It was around the time of 40s. Maybe that's why. The bigger the malt liquor bottle, the
multiple cans that can stay cold while I'm drinking a different one.
It'd be good though, is for people that have like elephantitis or people that are slightly retarded with giant skulls to crush those on their heads. It's probably the market.
Yeah,
the Elephant
Man.
That
should be a new Extreme Elimination challenge.
Indeed.
Watching videos of people try to crush cans of beer on their head and fail is one of the funniest things in the world, by the way. Because it clearly hurts. I never tried it. I never will. But you see them get all geared up to do it like they see in the movies. And all they do is they go, whack! And it makes the perfect sound. Kind of like an aluminum baseball bat walking into a bag of sand. Mm-hmm. And then they go, oh! And the can is uncrushed.
I'd like the show to immediately show the x-ray that the person gets afterwards so we can see the dent in their skull that they put in with the giant fake can.
Well, it's too bad our old show where we used to show pictures of people that shoved beer cans up their rectums and got it stuck inside their body. No longer part of the show. I missed that. I missed those halcyon days.
Yeah.
What's in that ass?
Well, a disclaimer is a very expensive thing, and we can't afford it on this show, so we can't show that stuff.
Absolutely not. All right, so this show, we are talking about The Penguin, and we're going to talk about one of the greatest shows ever made, Most Extreme Elimination Challenge, MXC. This is why Don is a perfect. I say you look more. I'm trying to think if you look more like Vic Romano or Kenny Blankenship. Why don't we start off talking about MXC, and we'll finish with The Penguin, since we are bestowed by your greatness in the kimono.
Yeah. Well, both characters are great. I mean, that show we love. We all grew up on it. I can remember being a young drunkard getting home from the bars, and then you put on FX, and that show is on.
Spike.
Never. I had never heard of this show before.
Spike TV.
I don't understand how that's possible, Rico.
You would just laugh yourself silly. You would, as you get home, you transition from alcohol to weed, and you're just watching it. Maybe you brought home some Taco Bell It's just the greatest time of your life. that's
I remember
the
watching
show.
this
500
with my
pounds right
dad in a
Is that why you have a
room.
kimono? You just got really fat from.
Yes, from watching
Well,
MXC
plus,
I
and
have to
Taco
dress like
Bell.
Yokozuna now.
Yeah.
Yeah, well-
Plus, you eat enough Taco Bell, you don't have time to pull your pants down. And kimono, you can go
Yeah.
no pants. you just pull up the back and you rocket diarrhea straight to the toilet from your couch.
In the town that I grew up in, everybody knew the guy who did the Taco Bell late night shift because he had been there forever. And everybody's like, "Oh yeah,
Road
that guy's
go-getter.
cool."
What a
Yeah,
badge of honor.
yeah. You know what? That guy ran that drive-through like a champ, man. He
Did
wanted
they give
to
you
be
a gold
there.
taco after like 10 years of service?
I hope so. I hope he got a gold burrito, a gold taco, and like a gold little Pepsi cup, like the whole meal that
Yeah.
he could proudly display because he was worth every hot sauce packet. And that guy's the
So
best.
did you get like a deal? Like were the 69-cent tacos only 59 cents because he worked there? Well,
No, you had to, they still charge you the stuff. But if you wanted some hot sauce, he'd give you a lot, right? You go, "Hey, can I get some hot sauce?" He's like, "Yeah, man."
is
He's
that
like,
different than any other Taco Bell? Or
Do they make
Uh,
laws? Is he the reason they have laws against giving out more than like 4 hot sauce packets now in places like asshole California
Yeah.
where I live?
He'd give you like 10 sauces per item.
Here's the pallet.
He goes, "This is
Hey,
for the
bro,
packet,
I'm gonna give you a
Over
lot of
the
sauce,
package
but
drawer, bro." Yeah.
word to the wise, if you're gonna use it to masturbate, mild only, brosif. Mild only. Oh, thank you,
Keep
Taco
it
Bell
out-
Guru.
Keep it out of the pee hole if you can, man. All right, we
So-
got way off topic on this.
Yeah,
show.
so MXC. So Rico, I'm amazed. Okay, so you've never seen this. I mean, I wish I could watch it again for the first time and give myself that pleasure. What did you think, Rico?
I was cracking up the whole fucking show.
yes.
Like the first 5 seconds, as soon as you hear the dubbed voice, obviously you see all the Japanese guys. You're like, "Oh, it's a Japanese game show," and then you hear the dubbed voices for like the first sentence. I'm like, maybe they're trying to dub it like what they actually said. I'm like, "Oh, this is clearly not what they're saying."
Because the executive is here.
Yeah.
He goes, "Did you fart?"
Those people who were the voices, whoever wrote the jokes, had to be the most stoned people in the world when they're watching it and just fucking thinking of ideas to say. But it was hilarious.
Well,
Yeah,
one of my
great
buddies, Kit Madsen, wrote for that show. He was like one of the 4 writers on it.
Oh, really?
You guys have met him or seen him at Comedy Ahoy before, right? Or Comedy Carhole back in the day. Yeah, Kit Madsen, hilarious writer. He was on that show, and I can't get over it. I think once in a while you'll hear him do a little voice. Yes, they have like the voice of the contestants. And to give everybody a background on the show, so MXC, or Most Extreme Elimination Challenge, it is a Japanese game show based off a show called Takeshi's Castle. And the lead, Vic Romano, they call him here, is a guy named Beat Takeshi. And he was a comedian that then went on to be a director and honestly got his fame here and a wider fame playing hard ass gangsters and like cops. So you see this doofus smacking people in the head with fans in this retarded show. He later went on to become like Japan's #1 like action tough guy. Oddly enough, like he was like Tom Hanks went to drama. He was like Beat Takeshi did that.
Yeah.
Tom Hanks goes to Jackie Chan.
Japan doesn't have a lot of choices either, though. It's like
It's
gonna
a small
be,
island.
Yeah, it's gonna be a Japanese dude who
There's hardly any people
is
there.
gonna be the supreme star. So
Yeah. So it's a fascinating backstory. But yeah, it's the premise of the show is that these 2 warlords in Japan are trying to keep away an invading army. And thus they come up with all these stupid ass mazes and games and traps that the people have to get through. But what was great in this show, that you have all the people, every episode, they have them sitting on a hillside. And again, I don't know how the premise of the show works with them setting up these traps. And then they have a guy dressed in a jungle gym outfit interviewing them. And
Wait,
oh yeah, I love that
The
guy.
show's premise in Japan was there's 2 competing armies. That's how they.
Yeah, and like the army was trying to raid their castle. And this is how they were defending the castle. That was
What?
That was the premise. I swear to God, that was the premise.
That's so ridiculous.
So it's the traps And why everybody was wearing baseball costumes, I don't know. But
Yeah.
they set it up that way. They do interviews with them, and there's always two teams. And in this one, it was the meat handlers versus the cartoon voice actors. And it's
A rivalry
always,
as old as time.
yeah, it's always something like really stupid like that. Like in today's episode, it's captains of tuna boats versus the annual toilet plumbers union. You know, they're like, let's get
It's
them.
always good when they go Susie Dugan, a pig knuckler from
The hometowns were hilarious.
Yeah.
They're all clearly Japanese, and they're like, "Oh, here's Barbara Thomas from Sheboygan."
Yeah.
yeah. A sausage stuffer from Sheboygan.
Yeah. They're so mean to him too. Like Guy Ledouche, he's like, how about you, fat boy? Stand up. What are you doing here? He's like, I like to jerk my meat.
Yeah. What did you like? Is your dad cool? No, he's a loser.
They were like, they're talking about the contestants while
Guy
they're doing the
Ledouche.
challenge, and they're like, "Oh, there's Joe Smith from Omaha, Nebraska. He's a voicemail specialist."
Yeah.
Or no, he does voicemail work.
Yeah.
It is. It's the best show. Oh,
It's legitimately one of those shows that you sit there and you watch it and you just will actually laugh out loud numerous times, which is rare to say that you actually are laughing out loud at a show. So, and they run through these different degrading, horrible games. And the first one's my favorite ever, which is called Sinkers and Floaters. And it's basically they charge down a hill at full speed, and there are rocks, floating rocks, some of which float, some of which sink. You can't tell which is which. So they run at the full speed, and you're just guessing which rock to step on. There's no strategy to it. And they will just fall into the water, break their ribs, it looks like, tear their ACLs. I remember the one guy, he goes, it was a woman going, and he's like, oh, here she goes. And she does like a split on top of one of the boulders. And the guy goes, looks like she's playing hide the boulder.
Well, those had to be like foam, right? Because
They're
no one had
foam.
any reaction to like smashing
They're
it.
foam.
No,
Some
it's
people
hard enough to
do.
stop your body, though. I mean,
Yeah, you'll see some people go like, and roll
They're all
off
very
to the side
good-natured Japanese people. They would all smile after they fail their
oh
challenges.
with their terrible teeth, with their terrible rows of shark teeth.
The guy's like, oh,
these
you
are
film
the-
each other in the bedroom.
yeah. You're filming you now. You're like, yeah, that guy's the best.
Did you catch the line too? There was one chick wearing knee pads that totally bit shit. I think she landed on a rib cage on one of the sinkers and floaters. And the guy goes, well, those knee pads didn't do her any good. And he goes, Kenny, how do you think she got on the show?
I did not remember that one.
You catch that one?
A different joke.
There's so many jokes.
So
it's
funny.
just jokes.
It's
jokes,
nonstop.
jokes.
Yeah, it's nonstop.
Very good. It's a great show.
I mean,
Anybody who wants to laugh should watch the show.
Yeah, if you've never seen it, it basically, this show was what created Wipeout. Like that was a ripoff of this show, but it was a far crappier ripoff. Just because it didn't have the same lore to it. Because without the voiceovers and the horrible, like, and they were cowardly on Wipeout because it was made for like network TV. Spike TV, they were able to say all this crazy crap because Spike was like a network that was for just dudes, and so they could get away with saying hilarious things all the time.
The golden age of television,
Yeah.
early 2000s.
Amen.
You get away with anything. Yes.
That's amazing.
And everybody had cable. There wasn't anything to stream, so there's just
were there winners to this show? That didn't seem clear to me from the end. They just kind of like ended the challenge and like which is fine.
In the real show there are winners for sure. But at the same time, I don't know. It might be like Ninja Warrior. I don't think there was even a cash prize in Ninja Warrior. I think it was just like a pride thing. So I don't know if this one had a cash prize or not.
Or maybe they're building up to like a championship round show.
Yeah,
maybe. I didn't even see like anyone win in that show. They just did the challenges. They showed a few.
A couple people did. Yeah, a couple of people
got it.
they always show one guy getting it.
Yeah. A bunch of people. Yeah, a couple times they got through.
Or you mean an overall winner of the show?
Yeah.
No, they never show
There's
that.
no like point system or anything. Like some people completed the challenge, some people didn't.
That's not what the
Like,
show's
all right,
about.
Who cares?
No, they create the score because they're making it up. They're like, man, the meat handlers are up 4, but they're just cutting the clips together. So it doesn't matter. They can make whoever they want win.
Yeah.
Because they're also picking who's on what team.
I wonder.
Voice
I
actor
thought they were just kind of
particularly-
airing the whole show, so they didn't air the whole.
Oh no, they
Japanese
clipped the
version.
crap. Yeah, they edited the crap out of it. I also one thing. Let me ask you this: what did you notice? Because this show taught me one thing distinctly about Japanese women. I'll let you see if you can figure out what thing I learned, and I'll tell you what event it was on. It's on the whatever, like the butterfly catch or whatever they called it event.
What'd you learn about
they
Japanese
don't
women?
shave or they don't need to. I don't know.
No, good guess, but no.
The dentist is a idea and not a thing you have to go to every 6
It's
months.
something that's been heard of.
Oh, you got to go to the land of shadows. Yes, the dentist. Oh,
Yeah.
no, it's that Japanese women, 0 arm strength, no upper body strength, no arm strength whatsoever. Every woman on this show, I've seen like every episode because I love it. Every woman on this show, whenever they're trying to jump onto any like hanging object, they fall instantly. It's not like there's a delay, like they're holding on for like a minute or two. No, it's an immediate let go straight into the mud, straight into the water, straight into the turf, whatever it is. They have 0 arm strength to hold their bodies up. It's straight into the ground every single time.
It's as soon as the body shifts, right? You can hang by yourself, but as soon as you move one,
it's just
angle, boop, you fall down.
Straight down.
What do you think? I mean, I was thinking they would choose contestants to be on the show by their complete antithesis to athleticism.
Yeah.
Right? None of them, like the shows here, everyone's in good shape and they train for this crap. They took random people off the street who would just want to do it for fun, put them in ridiculous challenges, which made it so much more entertaining than watching Ninja Warrior people go over this obstacle course they train on.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
That built the home version of the course.
Yeah.
And you watch the clip of them training at home on the garage.
Well, that's the thing that always upset me about the Godzilla films is like, you have these people in Godzilla movies, and they're scared of Godzilla, but same thing. They're building Godzillas at home. They're training severely. You're telling me Godzilla's going to have a chance against a population this attuned to the attacks of Godzilla every time?
No, but then we'd have a way to like infect his toe.
Yeah, right. Like, that's all you need.
Right.
Just a little, like a mouse
like,
board.
Yeah. Just put like a nail that he's going to step on with some poison. You're done.
It seems simple. It seems straightforward.
When you put it like that.
Yeah. Well,
what else? Anything else you want to add to the at most extreme elimination challenge commentary here?
I really like the wheel one where you're
the spine crusher.
And the one dude fell on every single wheel, but didn't fall all the way to the water. Somehow.
That guy did great.
Then he would roll his way back to the next one and do this. He did it like 6 times.
Yeah. And he'd smash his balls every time. That's the thing.
So
he had like split. So it's basically these rollers. They call it like the spine breaker or something. It's giant rollers, and you have to jump across them. And this one guy just kept falling, and then he'd do a split. And he'd smash his nuts on the giant roller, push himself back up, and he made it all the way across.
Then he'd have to do like a downward dog kind of move from roller to roller, and then the announcers would say, "That's a prison move." Prison. And then he kept going back. He's like, "Prison move, prison move."
Also, I like they do the most painful eliminations. Or the impact instant replay. And on that one, it's got some good ones too, where they kept replaying this one woman who went down and smashed her face and then went scorpion inverted going down this roller. And he's like, let's watch it again. Let's really hear the bones crush. They're turned into dust. He's like, stop playing it. Stop playing it. Like 8 times.
So good.
It's
terrible.
It's awesome.
Great show.
Yeah. So are all the episodes that funny?
Yeah.
They get old?
No, it does not.
No, because
it must have at some point because they canceled it. They probably just ran out of episodes of the original show.
They they changed. I remember it used to be called Most Extreme Elimination Challenge, and then a few years in, they changed it to MXC,
Yeah.
and then after that, it was gone. But it was always really good because there's always new events that they bring in. Because there's so many that I remember that I didn't see in this first episode. Other
Yeah.
things that they're doing, like running through doors, mazes, sliding down giant tarps that are full
Yep.
of mud. Like there's
Oh,
just
yeah. The one where they're running,
nonsense that they put them through.
they have one where the people are crossing a tiny thin bridge and they're shooting gold volleyballs at them. And again, that's a fun one because the women are
Yeah.
just getting hit. They're intentionally aiming,
Yeah.
I swear to God, at their vaginas. 'Cause
Yeah.
some of these girls just get hit in the crotch 8 times in a row.
And then, of course, the commentary is like, the balls are coming fast in her face.
She's used to taking a pounding down there. She'll be fine. And
Yeah.
she keeps on
Yeah.
going.
Oh,
This is
yeah.
any indication of
They're
Japanese
like, she
culture.
takes a
I'm
bunch of,
living in the wrong
like,
country.
She
Oh, me
takes
too,
a
man.
bunch of volleyballs to the ass, and they're like, yeah, she's apparently used to getting a lot of impact back then.
Yeah, exactly. So they have that one. They have the one where they run through a maze and then have to, or it's like a pinball machine. They dive out at the bottom into a pool of mud. They have
Always
some
mud.
where they have some where they
Oh, I do
they're
have
just-
one comment
Yeah.
after. Remember the one where they're dressed as butterflies and they're swinging? And
yeah
they have to
yeah
let go.
the no arm
I've-
strength one.
Yes. So there is that pool of mud that you just mentioned,
Mhm.
the wall that they have to stick to, and then what looks like a homeless person's mattress at the
Oh, yeah.
90-degree angle. They go,
That's all they have to fall on.
This is the safety mattress right
It's
there.
like
The
if we
rest-
were setting up an obstacle course at the fraternity. And it's like,
Yeah.
well,
It
we're gonna
looks
jump into this
so-
wall, but we'll put this old mattress in the basement at the bottom for safety.
Yeah.
It was like smaller than the width of the course.
That's
Just like
awesome.
this pathetic mattress. They're like, yeah, just put it there so nobody slices their face open on the.
Oh yeah. Well, it's like the last one they did, the last event. They're running up a big hill and they're rolling boulders down this narrow corridor,
that's
and you have
my
to run up the
favorite one.
hill. And it's
Love
covered
that
in
one.
thin foam, which they all fall down. They fall rolling backwards at high velocity.
Which is
So
really
they're running
funny.
up the hill. They have to duck into these little cabinets to avoid the boulders. But I'm dying to know what the boulders are made of because they're clearly heavy enough to crush
Oh, yeah.
a man against the wall and then knock him back down the hill. So, but they can't be rock.
No,
so,
'cause
like,
they
what
weren't
the
like
fuck are they
visibly
made of?
dirt.
It's probably
No,
some
but
kind
they
of
got to be harder
foam.
than they can't be
Like
just.
solid foam or something.
Yeah, it's got to be foam, like layered foam that they just
Yeah, maybe.
probably cut into circles and put on each other.
What do you
but
think they
it-
weigh? What do you think the boulders weigh? 80 pounds?
Yeah, if I was gonna say 50 to 80 pounds, but coming down the hill at that speed, and you anything hitting
a little
you at
much.
that
You got
angle,
80
you're gonna
pounds on
start
some
tumbling.
Weakling's rib cage. They're gonna crack.
You got it. Yeah, but it's a big ball. It's a spread out. I don't know,
Yeah.
because anything later, you could just push it up above you and just go under it.
I was gonna say like 40 or 50 pounds. Plus,
I think
plus
it's- I think
it's
it's
gonna
more. I
be
think it's
easier to
more.
knock you down because it'll look like a
going
pretty
downhill.
steep slope.
No, but
that
that's
you're
my
going
point,
up.
though. If it's not that heavy, because it's going above you, all you have to do is turtle down and then push it up. Like I could push 50 pounds up very easily.
Well, these
Well,
are
but you're
weak
also-
Japanese people.
There were people
they have
that
men that are somewhat
They're
athletic
weak
on this
Japanese
show.
men. These were
No,
not the cream of the
Brian,
crop.
there was a guy that got past the
They're not
boulder
the samurai class.
because he ducked under it, but he was out. You know, you're not supposed to get touched by the boulder.
Okay, maybe that. Okay, that must be it. But I've seen
Yeah.
people get squished and still maintain at
No.
some point.
There was a guy that he kind of like dove under it as it was going under him or over him, but he was out. Like they didn't show the rest
Okay,
of
all right.
his
So,
run.
that,
The
so
rules
that
seem
yes,
kind of
Yeah, I
vague.
think you have to get to those little like cubby holes where then they push you out.
yeah. This show's not big on really explaining the rules.
Yeah, they're
It's not
no
really.
rules.
We're breaking it down, but it's not really the point of the show. Like the point of the show is that seeing people get hit with a boulder and then rolling head over heels down the fucking mountain.
yeah, that's the best part. Especially when they get almost to the top and then they
Oh,
go
so close.
tumbling all the way down. That's the best. Great show.
It's amazing. What are your grades?
It's an A+.
Oh yeah,
Hmm.
gotta agree. Yeah,
Solid.
A plus.
I mean, that was
Absolutely.
the most I've laughed on one show that I've never seen before in
20
forever.
minutes.
It's so ridiculous.
I forgot
so
how
good.
good it was, and it reminded me of basically 20 years ago, where
Yeah,
everything was great.
It's awesome. I spent like when I would come home, it's a great like home drunk. You're trying to like, lay on the couch and sober up and just like, all right, maybe you're having one more beer and you're drinking water and you're watching that. You watch like 4 episodes of that. And you're like, okay, I'm ready to go to bed.
Yeah. Like DVR was just invented.
Yep.
And you're like, this is what I watch. DVR, MXC.
Well,
And
that's the good news of the
basketball.
show is that I watched on Amazon Prime. It's on Tubi, it's on Pluto, it's on everything. It's easy to find. It's not a hard show to find.
19 minutes. 19 minutes of awesomeness, where every other show we've seen is like 2 hours, an hour and 15 minutes, and it's just poop.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, A+ all around. Let's move on to some penguin feces. All right, Vic.
Okay.
Take us to our next show.
The Penguin. Let me tell you, that was, I got to say, I didn't know what to expect. Some of those spin-offs are, hit or miss. But this one, I think, was really good.
Yeah, so I was thinking about things to complain about because, what's the point of saying, a show's good? That's boring. But it's a good show. But we already talked about Colin Farrell before and how he talks like a crazy typical Irishman in real life. But how about the fact he's also really good looking in real life and they make him up to be the most disgusting person? Do you think that's fair to ugly actors?
No. And I thought about this. Speaking of fucking Nicole Kidman, she was in that movie The Hours, where they made her into an Uggo, and I was like, give the Uggos a chance.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say
you're not that good of an actress, Nicole. Anybody like you don't have to play this role.
I thought you were going to say, speaking from the perspective of an ugly actor, you would.
No.
Well, it's
this
like
episode, ugly actors versus two-haired douchebags.
Like, wasn't Charlize Theron?
We're the two
movie where they made her like fat and ugly.
Yeah, they put her in Monster.
Or something.
Yeah, they put her in a movie called Monster, I think.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, but nobody cares about that movie.
Of all the things the Actors Guild strikes about, why are they not striking about? Oh, I guess they're mostly good looking, so they don't really care about the.
They're mostly not. It's mostly character actors and background actors and the Justins of the world that we're friends with.
Could the
I'm gonna put that in his ear if I see him this weekend. I'm like, hey.
The cripples, the faction of the Screen Actors Guilds of the handicap get mad that he's faking being a handicap.
A cripple, a penguin cripple? No, I think that's one you could get away with because it's a distinct. Because so Colin Farrell plays the penguin. He does an incredible job. Flat out.
We all agree.
Never in a million years. Yeah, and great. It's a lot of makeup. But it really, you just have no clue.
I had no idea. Well, he's in what's the latest version of the Batman? Where they
another goddamn Brit playing our American superhero.
It was like 4 hours long.
It's the guy from. It was way too long. It's the guy from Twilight.
Another example of where you go, wait, your English accent is gone, and they play an American accent.
He was fine. The movie was too long, but this is like a continuation of that movie.
Yeah, because Penguin was in it for maybe 15 minutes.
Falcone guy. What was that, like John Turturro? Maybe his character in it. I forget who played him. I think it was. He's like a mafia boss. So he died. And basically this is a continuation of that story where the Penguin is trying to take over his empire, and they're explaining who succeeds the Falcone dude. Yeah. And I didn't know. I swear, I was watching that movie, and then I'm watching the credits, and I see Penguin Colin Farrell.
Yeah, it's mind blowing.
Same.
Same. Not only from the face perspective and from the acting performance, but also, he is legitimately walking around with that horrible limp all the time. Yeah. And I wrote down, I'm like, that must be fun to do because to do that, I'm guessing they put a insert in one of his legs so that it looks authentic, because it does look authentic. That's why they call him the Penguin, right? Because he's got this weird wobble walk.
Yeah,
and they show his little
he's deformed
foot. That was gross. That club foot form toe thing.
Yeah, and he wears a fake foot on top of it, which is weird.
Wouldn't you just get that amputated? Wouldn't that be better?
The character that he is, that's the whole reason why he is he was deformed and then his parents threw him away. Right. So,
right. Yeah.
So he was born with those deformities.
That's why podiatrists having a kid with mutant feet doesn't work out.
No.
Don't fuck podiatrists. That's the rule here. Because you have a freak foot kid, they're gonna throw him in the garbage.
Indeed. And then probably shouldn't be drinking and smoking while you're pregnant.
Or drink a little bit more, smoke a little bit more. We don't know the exact. We don't know the exact amount to create this.
Yeah.
We don't know what creates penguin babies exactly. Yeah.
But this was a light version.
We need to pay the first episode podcast is getting behind doing more studies to find out exactly how much you have to smoke and drink to create varieties of mutants.
Well, and also a cool one that's going
to GoFundMe.
Yeah, and also you want one that's going to be, a crime boss in the gangster world. So make sure you have enough.
His brain is working just fine. That ugly brain is.
They kind of made him like a Forrest Gump version of the Penguin, where he had retarded leg and he needed a brace. And I imagine he's going to break through it and then, be the football star at Alabama.
It's such a better backstory than Batman 2 with Danny DeVito. That was so dumb.
Yeah, but the movie was still great. How dare you?
It wasn't as good as the highly entertaining. Jack Nicholson.
Well, that was but it was still pretty damn entertaining.
Tim Burton's versions are always, Funhouse style, where he just gets thrown into a river and then he lives in an abandoned funhouse with his fun ducks.
Yeah, as you do, you create an army of penguins with rocket backpacks.
And when you have Danny DeVito
in New York City type city,
and with Danny DeVito, you don't need any makeup either, or CGI, or
Danny DeVito.
He comes looking exactly like the Penguin.
I did know it was Danny DeVito in that.
That was
when the credits rolled, I wasn't like, oh.
Does Danny DeVito
was Catwoman and Michelle Pfeiffer was Penguin.
Danny DeVito calls Colin Farrell, goes, "Congratulations on the role. We're both gonna be the Penguin."
Yeah. All right, so Colin Farrell's a penguin. It's set up. There's this Falcone, drug-addled alcoholic kid who's supposed to try to take over the crime family that the Penguin works for. The Penguin goes in to rob the mob boss's apartment, which has all these files that have dirt on politicians and actors and all this other stuff. As he's leaving, the guy's son comes in, and the Penguin lures him into having a drink to celebrate his ascendancy. The kid starts mocking the Penguin and being a huge douche, and the Penguin shoots him, which we all knew was coming because all of us would have shot him as well. And honestly, to be perfectly frank, there are so many times you see in movies or shows where somebody's getting berated, and you're like, why wouldn't you just kill him?
Penguin
I would just kill him. You're already
people. You have a gun.
Yeah, just kill him. Why are you waiting for him?
He tells the kid, he goes, "Oh, you're here. You saved me a trip."
Right, he was bringing...
He was going to kill him anyway, but he just showed up because that was his plan. Yeah.
Well, he does craft a good plan to get out of it, which kind of sets up the ending of the episode. So after he shoots him, he goes to move the body, which there was a funny scene where he's like lugging him down the steps. And I'm thinking, like, why is he carrying a dead body down the steps? And at the exact same time, the Penguin thinks, why am I carrying this fucking dead body down the steps? He just throws the bag down the steps.
Gravity.
That was a good scene.
And then he goes to put him in his car, but he's getting his rims were being stolen. One of the
that's when we meet our Kamala Harris character, our DEI hire.
I liked his character.
I did too. I know. I like the character too, but I don't know. It seemed a little bit over the top. One of the guys, he gets a kid to help. He's like, "Hey, get back here!" From the guy's trying to rob his rims, and it's a stuttering black Hispanic mix, maybe kid.
Yeah. It's not clear.
But he's got a stutter, and I was like, maybe it's a character I don't know about.
He had the stutter when he was nervous, though.
No, he had the stutter all the time.
Did he?
Yeah.
Yeah. That stutter saved his life, though.
Probably right.
It's probably the only time anyone can say that in their history of the world. Because he was going to kill him, and he was stuttering so bad. The Penguin's like, what the hell's going on? I need to know more about you and your stutter.
This kid's sending Morse code to the police with his stutter. Like that.
Oh, yeah. Maybe that's why I liked him, because he sounded like a penguin.
Yeah. Hey, there you go.
I don't know what. Yeah.
So he brings in this kid. The kid helps him get rid of the body. They go around to different spots, ditching things.
That makes sense, because the penguin's deformed, so the kid has a speech.
Yeah, he feels for him.
So yeah, he goes, hey, you know what?
Like people like us, they overlook us.
Yeah,
Birds of a feather, you could say.
Poop together.
Mm-hmm. So they chuck the drug boss's kid in a trunk. Now this comes back around later on. I've seen 2 episodes, so I'm trying to keep it.
Yeah,
I'm trying to remember just what's in the first
I was
one.
trying not to give away the ending, because the ending is quite good. Because there's another mafia character, kind of a competing mafia family boss. The Penguin goes to see, and that kind of sets up the ending.
Mr. Krabs from SpongeBob SquarePants is the other mafia boss, by the way.
And then there's the daughter, the sister of the guy who got killed.
What do you think? Hot?
I was thinking hot.
I thought I recognized her
crazy
from
eyes. But
yeah,
hot, I think hot.
Yeah.
Hot if it's attached with other things that are good.
She looked familiar from other shows where
Crazy Eyes Kim Waltz.
She was hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy Eye, hot mafia boss.
Crazy.
Sure.
Yeah.
Nah. Stay away from any Crazy Eyes is probably the
Well,
best.
I would say if there's one criticism I have of the show, it's that there's a little bit like it's got a lot of good intrigue and suspense and like, crap. How's he going to get out of this? But it's all, even I'm only 2 episodes in, it's all a little bit, or you're like, well, that was lucky, or that's a little convenient type of thing, where I would rather have it be more intentional on his part in some ways. But again, it's only 2 episodes in. But I'm still enjoying the living shit out of it. I still think it's a great show.
I only watched the first episode, but I was tempted to watch.
I'm going to watch the rest of this. I just didn't want to get it confused. I watched it last night. I didn't want to get it confused in my mind. What happened? What didn't happen?
Yeah.
So I think I just looked up the actress, and she was in The Wolf of Wall Street. Now I don't know if she was probably either the wife of Jonah Hill, because she's definitely like that New Jersey type, or she was the wife of Leonardo DiCaprio,
the first
before
wife.
He dumped her for
Hottie McTotterson. For what's her face that played that was in Suicide Squad. Yeah, Harley Quinn.
Margot.
Yeah.
Margot. Yeah.
I mean, anyone's leaving their wife for her. Let's be honest.
I mean,
I don't even think a woman.
You know what's nice though? You know what's nice about that,
a woman would
Rico?
leave her husband.
I don't think I'd leave my wife for her now because she's gotten too old. Take that, Margot Robbie. You're too old to leave my wife for. How about that?
We have one less live watcher now.
Challenge accepted.
Yeah, I think she was Leo's first wife.
Yeah. If there's a knock on your door in the next 10 minutes, it's Margot Robbie.
Oh, yeah. Damn. I didn't mean it. But yeah, it was, I mean, the show's been good. It's entertaining. It moves pretty well. I was surprised because I was like, not that much seemed to happen, but an hour went by, and I was like, okay, well, that's a sign.
Yeah, I did think it started off a little slow.
That first episode was kind of long. But I think a lot of times first episodes they don't know where to start them.
They had to set it up. They also had, I think, recap.
It's almost like a movie.
What happened in the movie? Because if you watched it 3 years ago, you're like, well, why is this Penguin character involved in these shenanigans? What's going on here?
And they do show the Riddler with that new, I guess the current Riddler version. That wears like the weird green mask with the
gas mask thing.
Yeah. So that was when I go, oh, okay. I felt like they were doing a better version of what the Disney Channel does with the Marvel movies, where they try to have their in-between shows between the movies.
Yeah, which all have bombed terribly, by the way. We haven't really
They're
done
awful.
many of the Marvel. Yeah, I mean, there's a new one we could do, but I don't know if you guys have Disney called Agatha something or other, but it just looks fucking awful. It's like a witch show, a woke witch show.
Yeah, and I think it's because Halloween comes out, so they capitalize on that. But that whole Disney Plus app, I had it for a bit. I watched The Mandalorian, and then it was just nothing else kept me to want to keep it. So I canceled it a few months ago. But if they
We
want
have
to
it
send
for
us
the
for
kids.
free,
I would cancel it if not for the kids
That's
stuff.
what Disney definitely wants to do. Give us
yeah,
Yeah.
they need the money.
Yeah, so
Well-
I think the problem was both these shows were too good.
Yeah,
We don't have
I
enough to
know.
talk
A
about
great show.
because we can't tell away the ending, which I really, like I said before, I thought was pretty clever in setting up the stage for the next kind of how this it's a mini series, I think, right? It's not going to be like season 2, 3, or whatever.
I don't know. I mean, that's the thing with the comic
Maybe.
book series. You don't have to have an ending. You can just keep making up crap. But I'm hoping. I'm sick of series that go on and just get shittier and shittier. I prefer it if it was a 2-season arc or something that had a definitive end. I just think it makes it better. Better
And there is
content.
one way to make this show perfect, and that is to bring in Batman.
Michael Keaton?
Any of no.
No.
Well, they
Hopefully.
probably have to have the current Batman. but-
Wasn't Val Kilmer Batman?
or even a guy
Poor guy.
dressed as Batman. You want to see Batman in the Batman world, because when the show started and they talk about how all the seawalls were destroyed from the Riddler. That's not giving away too much.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like in the first
No,
episode.
No, I
If
think
people
that's-
haven't seen Batman by now, then whatever.
And then they go, oh, and Batman is out there doing stuff, helping everybody out. You need the Batman character to show up in a Batman spin-off, I think, to just keep people's interest. If not for the Penguin to maybe get his ass kicked by him, or just for some reason.
Well,
to
I'm
just
guessing
remind you.
Colin Farrell doesn't want to do like 14 seasons or even 3 seasons of this.
No.
I mean, I don't know if he's really busy.
Yeah.
I was going to tell you this has nothing to do with the Penguin, but it has to do with Colin Farrell.
Okay.
I saw like half of the most ridiculously plotted movie on a plane. So the concept of the movie is Colin Farrell is just this Irish guy who lives in this boring Irish town.
Oh no.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, I hated that movie so much.
I didn't watch the end because it was so dark. Like
Depressing.
he's friends with this guy, and all of a sudden his friend just decides, oh, my best friend, I hate him. I never want to talk to him again. So every time Colin Farrell's like confused, like, why do you hate me? He's like, you're boring. Like, what? So every time he goes to talk to him, finally he's like, if you come to talk to me one more time, I'm going to chop my finger off.
The Banshees of Inisherin. That's what it's
Yes.
I hated it so much. God, I fucking hated it. Yeah, keep going.
I couldn't watch the ending. I hated it too, but it was so.
Oh, don't worry. You saved yourself a lot of misery, Rico, because it doesn't get better from there. It keeps getting shittier and shittier. Boy, the retarded kid. Oh, he ends up face down in the water, dead.
Oh, well, that's nice. So this guy, his friend, just keeps cutting off his fingers.
Yeah.
To show Colin Farrell how much he hates him, and he's like a really good piano player. And Colin Farrell's like one of the times he sees him playing piano and he thinks they're getting along. He's like, oh, you're so good. And try to be nice. And the guy's like, thanks. Yeah. Then Colin Farrell goes home. Half an hour later, he hears thuds against his door, opens it, finds like 4 fingers wrapped up in cloth. And the guy just cut off to show him how much he hates him. I can't even play violin anymore, which I'm really good at, play my whole life. I'm just going to cut off my fingers to show how much I hate you.
What if he hates playing the violin so much?
He's just poor Ed. He's just making poor Colin Farrell feel bad about it.
Yeah, exactly.
That was one of the darkest, most depressing, horrible films I've ever watched. I watched it all the way through. I wish I hadn't. I watched it because a friend of mine, Eric, had said it was a good movie, and I liked another dark movie they were in together, which was that one where they were both hitmen.
I know that one. That one's pretty good.
Fuck. I can't remember the name of it right now, but that was a pretty good movie. Dark, but a good movie. This movie was just depressing all the way through. Piece of shit. Horrible.
That one it's like the name of a town in Belgium that they go to, I think is the name of that movie.
Yeah, it is.
In
Bruges.
In Bruges.
Yeah.
In Bruges. That was horrible.
That was also terrible, but it's
So
like
how did the
ooh.
movie end? Did he cut off all his fingers?
I'm not going to tell you how it ends because
No,
it's
I'm not
so
gonna
sad and
watch.
depressing, and I don't want to ruin it for people.
He
It's
cuts off
horrible.
his
I
head!
told you the retarded kid ends up freaking dead. I'll tell you this: Colin Farrell doesn't end up happy.
Maybe his dick got
It's
cut off.
really awful.
It sounds like when they have a crappy book and they go, "We got to make a
Why,
movie."
yeah, I was just like watching this movie. I'm like, why would anyone write this script?
Exactly. Who's the
point?
audience that's watching this and loving this
I just
this
want to bring
fucking
up
horrible
Rico
movie that's
miserable.
depressing the crap out of you? Oh, it's so bad. Okay, so so what do you give the Penguin? Let's wrap it up though. Let's pick an episode because Sandy's got to leave. She's going to Puerto Rico tonight. Puerto Rico.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, if you're a prostitute watching this,
Rico's namesake.
now's your time. But
Yes.
she's going and her Uber's coming in like 15 minutes, so I got to wrap it up.
All right, wrapping it up.
What do you give Penguin? Then we got to figure out what to watch.
Penguin gets an A too.
I give it an A-. I enjoyed it. Wasn't perfect, little slow at times, but very well done. Very gritty, as the Batman world should have been.
Yeah, I think it was a good iteration.
I'm going to give it a B plus. Again, it's only two episodes in. I do really like it, but as I said, I have a couple issues with it being a little too convenient, a little bit slow in the first episode. We'll see, but a solid B plus for sure. And I am definitely going to keep watching it. So that says a lot. All right, next episode. What do you want to watch?
Well, I had a
Rico,
suggestion.
Yes, you had a
for the new
suggestion.
show. And have you seen the previews for this? It's like I think her name's Kate Olsen from Always Sunny. She helps out. She's a cleaning woman who also helps out police with impossible to solve crimes. Why, you ask? Because she has an IQ of like 180. Why is she working as a cleaning woman with an IQ of 180? I don't know. That's what I want to find out.
I know.
I hope
Someone who could be destined for higher things.
Dirt is very crafty, so you got to be smart to clean.
Dust bunnies.
Dust
bunnies. Well, here's my theory. It's going to turn out that she is actually Arnold Schwarzenegger's cleaning lady. And the twist is that she has to solve the crime of whose baby she's having that looks exactly like Arnold Schwarzenegger. And it's actually a post-reactive true crime novel.
Then she has twins, and the twins are separated at birth.
Where her baby daddy is?
Whose baby is this?
Who's fucking my wife? Who's fucking my nuts?
I told you to bust the dust, not to bust my nuts. That was a horrible one in Schwarzenegger, but a good joke. All right, wait, what's that show called? I'm down with watching that. What's it called?
I don't know.
Bust my nuts.
Bust them.
Well, it's called for now.
Get to my busters.
Get
All right,
to my get to the cocker.
All right, so we'll do that show. This new show with the chick from Always Sunny, whatever it's called. And then I was going to say, since it's the start of October, I think it'd be entertaining to watch the first episode of The Walking Dead. Although I think that might be on AMC Plus only, and I don't feel like paying for it.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I've watched it.
Let me look up The Walking Dead streaming
so many times.
I might have it recorded on my DVR, but
it says Netflix has it. Well, that's easy.
Oh yeah, all right.
Okay,
High Potential is the name of the new show.
Okay, I'm gonna guess. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that right now that she is super smart and is a cleaning lady because she is high all the time.
What is the network
What's it on?
that High Potential's on?
Oh, I think it's on. I mean, it's like a network show now, so you can watch on Hulu.
Okay, that's easy enough.
Oh, okay.
All right,
it's like
sounds good.
ABC has it. All right, great. After that,
so we shall October 17th. We will watch High Potential, and we will look back at the first episode of The Walking Dead, and which I still somewhat remember, but I know I still had my issues with it.
I remember it. thinking, whoa, this show is
Save it!
crazy.
Save
Okay.
it. We should watch, we should watch the first episode of The Walking Dead and then watch the last episode of the season where they lose the little fucking girl. We'll get to that. And how angry I am about that.
Last episode of second season podcast.
All right.
Great.
Geisha Dawn is
Brian just invented a new show.
Yeah.
The last episode.
That's all I do, baby. All right. Bye from the first episode podcast. Have a good night from me, Kenny Blankenship, from Vic Romano, and of course from Rico, the Jungle Bunny, Suave.
Cool.
And Rico LaDouche. All right, goodbye.
It was wonderful.
Bravo!
I loved that.
Oh, it was great.
Well, it was pretty good.
Well, it wasn't bad.
Well, there were parts of it that weren't very good,
It
though.
could have been a lot better.
I didn't really like it.
It was pretty terrible.
It was bad.
It was awful.
It was terrible.
Get him away!
Hey, boo!
Boo!